This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. G2K shocked and saddened by death of council caretaker Omar Francis. Generation 2000, the young professional affiliate of the Jamaica Labour Party, is in shock at the death of council caretaker for the Point Hill Division in St. Catherine West Central, Omar Francis. Francis, who is a former G2K vice president, was killed in a car crash this morning in Bell's district in Kitson Town in St. Catherine. The organization says it is saddened by his passing. Omar believed in G2K, he believed in our core values and was never timid in saying he was a G2K man, said Vice President Titania Clark. Our various groups are mourning at this time, as this was not the news we expected. There are many of us who recall our last interaction and still cannot accept that it was our last exchange, said Clark. G2K says Francis maintained a connection with the organization despite new responsibilities, so much so that its management committee executed its 2022 Labor Day project in the Point Hill district. The loss of Omar is a tragedy for his family, constituents, the Jamaica Labour Party, Generation 2000, and by extension Jamaica, declared President Ryan Strachan. His vice president tenure of 2015 to 2016 was characterized by strident political activism, which served him well in his ascension to representational politics and an expected seat in the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. As an organization, G2K takes tremendous pride in our alumni's accomplishments, and while we understand the cycle of life, this just feels like a life that has come to an end much too early. We extend the deepest condolences to his children, his family, and friends, added Strachan. 1 dead, 5 hospitalized in St. Andrew crash. An early morning crash on Golden Avenue in St. Andrew, in the vicinity of the Irvine Hall Gate at the University of the West Indies, has left 1 man dead. The driver and 4 other occupants received injuries and were transported to hospital. They were admitted in serious but stable condition. The deceased has been identified as 24-year-old Dennis Moody, otherwise called Boopop, of Augusttown Road in St. Andrew. The police report that about 12:58 a.m., Moody was a passenger in a Nissan Bluebird Selfie motor car when the driver allegedly lost control of the vehicle, which then crashed into an embankment and a utility pole and then overturned. Investigations are ongoing. Police warn against sharing videos of children involved in sexual acts. The police are warning the public that it is an offense to share videos depicting children involved in sexual acts. The warning comes as the police say they have noted several videos being shared on social media platforms this past week. Persons are being warned not to share these videos, and if they are sent to you, delete them immediately and advise the sender to do the same. The Child Pornography Act, the Child Care and Protection Act, and the Cybercrime Act of 2015 are some of the laws under which persons may be charged if they are found in possession of such videos or if it can be proven that they shared the video at any time. Instead of sharing the videos, persons who may be able to assist investigators are encouraged to contact their local police, the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse, at 876-926-4079 or the police 119 emergency number. Man gunned down at Old Harbour Bar identified. The police have identified the man who was gunned down at a bar in Old Harbour, St. Catherine on Saturday. He is 41-year-old auto body repairman Delano Williams of Bushy Park in Old Harbour. His attackers are still being sought. Williams and a woman were at the establishment, which is located along Ascot Drive, when around 5:50 p.m. a Toyota Probox motorcar drove up. 2 men exited the vehicle and opened fire on Williams, shooting him multiple times in the upper body. The attackers returned to the car and sped away. The police were called to the scene and Williams, who was bleeding profusely, was assisted to the hospital. He later succumbed to his injuries. St. Elizabeth adds 40 temporary vector control workers. The St. Elizabeth Health Department has added 40 temporary vector control workers as the parish ramps up efforts to prevent the transmission of mosquito-borne illnesses. Chief Public Health Inspector for the parish, Everard Lewis, said that the temporary team complements the 16-member permanent staff. He explained that the temporary workers are currently undergoing orientation and in short order will be carrying out vector control and public education activities in various high-risk communities. We'll be doing it on a rotational basis based on communication with our vector control officer, Lewis indicated, while addressing the monthly meeting of the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation in Black River last Thursday. Also, what will happen is that some of these temporary workers will be working in a particular geographical area for a particular time. Then we will pull some from other areas to make sure that we can maximize the resources that we have at our disposal, he added. Lewis said there must be increased focus on vector control activities from the June to October period to help reduce the spread of dengue and other mosquito-borne illnesses. He noted that the parish is seeing a slight uptick in the Aedes index, which was recorded at 11.9% in May in comparison to 10.5% in April. He pointed out that fogging activities have been carried out in the communities of Oxford, Cambridge, Hopewell, Williamsfield, Brompton, and the Braes River, among others in the parish. Moving forward, we are waiting to see what the weather pattern is going to look like and to see how we proceed from there, Lewis said. Teenager at the center of cable theft investigations. A teenage girl is now at the center of a criminal investigation involving the suspected theft of cables belonging to one of the country's major telecommunications companies. According to the police, she was arrested along with 2 other men in an operation on the AGR Byfield Highway in St. Anne on Sunday. The police said about 3 a.m., officers were on patrol when they observed a Hino motor truck and a Nissan Tida motor car parked on the roadway. They went to investigate, and upon their approach, a man reportedly entered the motor car and attempted to drive away. The police said the motor car was intercepted and the driver was arrested following preliminary investigations, which indicated that more than 100 feet of cables were cut from the area. Both drivers of the Nissan Tida motor car and the Hino motor truck, along with a teenager, were arrested and the vehicle seized. The investigation is ongoing. Work resumes on Western Children and Adolescents Hospital. Construction has resumed on the Western Children and Adolescents Hospital, which is being built on the grounds of Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. Work had stalled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In a tweet on Saturday, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said he was looking forward to the project being completed. Ground was broken for the Western Children and Adolescents Hospital on October 23, 2019. It is expected to complement the Bustamante Hospital for Children by providing increased access to specialized pediatric and adolescent care. On completion, the 6-story hospital will have a 220-bed capacity and an in-house pharmacy, an emergency room, and a dialysis room, plus administrative offices, a food court, and accommodation for employees. The National Council of Taxi Association demands details of promised grant to taxi operators. The National Council of Taxi Associations has expressed a concern that it has not heard details on the announcement by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark of a $25,000 granted to operators of public passenger vehicles to cushion the effects of rising fuel prices. In a statement Monday morning, National Council of Taxi Associations said its executive views Dr. Clark's statement as an empty promise. The association says it met with Transport Minister Audley Shaw and the Transport Authority, but no information has been forthcoming. The association disclosed that its members are now restive. It wants the government to provide a timeline for the implementation of the grant. Brother allegedly killed by sibling after pulling gun on mom. A man who the police labeled a violence producer was shot and killed allegedly by his own brother minutes after he pulled an illegal firearm on his mother and other family members at their home in Mocha District in Garland's St. James on Sunday morning. The deceased has been identified as 46-year-old Sheldon Royal, otherwise called the Bragadap. Reports by the Springmount police are that about 7 a.m., Royal got involved in an argument with his mother at their home. He reportedly went inside the family home and destroyed furniture and subsequently used a piece of metal to unleash his rage on the board structure. Royal's mother reportedly tried to restrain him, but he allegedly pointed a handgun at her. A younger brother accosted Royal, who was shot with his own gun during the tussle. It is reported that the younger brother went into shock and ran from the scene. He later turned himself in and the weapon to the police. Everything worked out the right way. Bragadap gone like him want to bully everybody. Even him poor mother afraid of him. One resident who gave his name as Garnet told the news. Him go round and terrorize every farmer in the community. Him thief them things and then turn round and want to kill them. A police investigator said that Royal has been reported on numerous occasions for simple larceny, predial larceny, arson, and destruction of property. Since his death on Sunday morning, several community members have expressed joy to the police over the fact that their farms and the farm animals will now be left alone. We also have reason to believe that he has been behind a number of armed robberies that have been taking place in the community, and that the same firearm which he pulled on his family members was a weapon being used to commit his crimes, a senior cop said. Since the start of the year, 109 people have been murdered in St. James. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.